Thanks for joining me for this experiment in painting flowers. I'm inspired by Cy Twombly, and in studying those paintings that he did, I noticed several different things that were prevalent in his paintings that I want to try and employ here. And one is that I love the way that he paints flowers. So one of the things that he has a very light background. He paints flowers, but they're very more flower-like. They're very flowery, flowery, that's not even a word, flowery, that is a word, but they just tend to flow. They're very free form. And then also he uses words. He messes around with a lot of watery paints and a lot of drips, and he also tends to paint over the edges. So I thought we'd get started. If you followed me along at all, you know that I like to decorate coffee cups to put my chai in. In fact, I'm doing one right now as I paint. And so to protect this, I first covered it in clear gesso, and then I'm just starting to put a wash. And the wash I'm using is a black walnut, and I'm just using the sponge and trying to put that on to give it just a little bit of interest, and also to help whenever I put on the flowers, which will be white, they'll be able to stand out a little bit more. And because I have some left, then I've got other canvases here, and so I will just use a little bit of this to, this is what I do with like leftover paint, so that nothing goes to waste. And this black walnut dye actually is so precious that I definitely don't want to waste it, and I poured out more than I really wanted to. So now that we've got this wash on here, and give it just like a second to dry, and I've already got a couple of drips going, and I'll put these aside because I don't really need these. I will start, maybe one more second to dry. There's a couple of ways that you can mix your paint. And for the background, because I don't need anything to be precise and I want it to have a lot of depth and various colors kind of coming through, a lot of times I will mix, for my palette, I've got a palette right here, but a lot of times I'll mix my colors just like right on my substrate. And so let's just try that. See, again, I want to kind of keep it dark, so I'm not going to do too much white. And I've got so raw umber, some Titan buff. I don't have the raw umber yet, but some Titan buff, titanium white. Put a little of this on there, and when we mix it, you can see that just some different colors like come through that might not otherwise if I took the time to really mix it properly on my palette paper. So, and so that'll be kind of nice to just have that pop through. You never know really quite what you're going to get, and that's the beauty of it. Going to be a very fancy cup for my chai. Just tiny dabs, tiny dabs. And I think this is covered pretty nice. Nice thing about acrylic paint, which is what I'm using, is it tends to dry very quickly. And I like that because I'm a very impatient painter. Okay, so I've got kind of like a pretty nice background going here. And I think whatever white flowers I paint on there will really pop. So now I will mix my colors here on my palette paper. And this I want to be a lot more white, and I've got way too much raw umber in there. This is just a little bit of that medium to kind of make it shinier. And we will put a lot more white, titanium white in here. I don't know, I guess you can't really see what I'm doing. So let me move this over a little bit. Can you see that now? Yeah, I'm just mixing it all up. And I'll probably do a lot of different variations with the white because I don't want it to just, all the flowers have a lot of color in them, and I don't want it to just look the same everywhere. So let's see. Again, I've never really done this before, so I'm just going to do some strokes. I could outline a flower and pencil if I wanted, but this is just building up layers and texture. And if I wanted to be more precise about a flower, I could just, I made this paintbrush, by the way. Isn't that cute? I found this piece of driftwood on the beach. I think I'll scrape a little bit because I didn't leave anything in the middle here. Maybe do a little dot of the raw umber because I happen to have some, and this way it won't seem so. Don't be afraid to use your hands. Kind of let that dry a little bit. Come back over here, add a little bit more. Made my background just a little bit too dark. I'm trying to go for the white that you saw on the restaurant that I found in Mexico, in Oaxaca. And always just brush extra paint off on a book, on pages, on collage pages, or on other canvases, that kind of thing. Let's see what we want to do here. Now, let's look over here. I just show you what I'm doing. This kind of just like my. Too much in here. I think I want a little bit thicker paint. So put black in here, it'd be kind of like, can't say it right, anemone, A-N-E-M-O-N-E. I'll let this dry, but that's pretty obvious, and I don't think I want such obvious. So, but I'll wait for it to dry a little bit. And then I'll come back in. Okay. Can you see what's going on here? Doesn't look like a peony, but it makes me think about my peonies that are blooming right now. They're just so full and lush and beautiful. Okay, so now that we've got this going, I'm going to come back in, just a little bit of darkness. See what we got going on there. I've got this going on here. And now I think I'll do some drips. And when I do drips, what I like to do is put a canvas underneath to just catch the drips. You know? So I've got very drippy paint here. Probably could shake it up a bit. And I can wipe this off too. If I don't like all those drips, I can just wipe it off. Don't be afraid to experiment and see where things go. I think this is way too drippy. It'll make it like a nice little wash. Okay, let's see what we've got here. So far, we've got this. I'm going to take a pen, and I'm going to make a few little dots here, if you can see them. So right here. And we can also just play around, you know, like I can make an outline. I feel like it's not showing up. I mean, it's your painting, you can do whatever you want, right? And then to write, I don't know. I think you want, like, Cy Twombly just made it very, very messy. So, as we've mentioned, so. I'm writing my favorite flowers on here. Peonies. I'll do tulip. I just learned that tulips like just a little bit of water when you put them in there. And my other favorite flower, I don't know, this may be a small purpose to write all that. But here we go. This is my flower experimentation. I hope you like it.